Howdo! Welcome to We Will Rise Again with me, Tenacious G. It's looking interesting. I'm hoping that we'll continue the recent form. Obviously, it was going very well last episode. I'm going to shoot, obviously, a few little bits before we move forward. So looking at the finances, things like that. And yeah, I suppose let's get to it, shall we? Right, so on here, you can see that money situation is a little bit in jeopardy. We're nearly 2.5 million in the red, which is never a good place to be. Don't think there's anything really to mention that we didn't do like on the last episode. Let's quickly have a look. I think we covered all the transfers. I believe we did, yeah. I remember speaking about Ryan Clark in the bottom right-hand corner here. So suppose, let's just see, just a quick reminder before we do, the league table in its full glory. We're expected to, hoping to avoid relegation. And as you can see, things are going very well. 13 points clear at the top, 17 points clear of Barnsley, who are third, with only 18 games to play. So it's looking like there's a realistic chance that we can get back-to-back promotions. Obviously, that is what I'm hoping for. So let's have a look and see how we get on. I'll fast forward now to the end of the season and see how we got on. Right, so looking at the finances screen, it's a little bit worse with 3.4 million in the red come the end of the season. Now, a few things to mention. I mean, obviously, you can see right at the very top it says financial status is insecure. I have started using a brand new skin. It's the very first time I've ever used a new skin. And the reason being, I just like when you go onto the club info, so if you click on any club, right, for instance, if you want to do loan signings, loan people away from other loan people to other clubs, you can quickly click on facilities and it'll tell you on here. If you click on a different team, so if I click on Sunderland, say, it will tell us on here what their facilities are and stuff like that. So it's very good for finding out like the best destinations for your loan, the players you want to send out on loan. As you can see on the screen as well, obviously, of course, you can see the Macron Stadium there, which I think is a nice little touch as well. A few little extra downloads. If you need to know what they are, let us know in the comments below, and I'll send you a link to the place where I downloaded them from. But yeah, you can see that we have finished top of the league, which obviously I'm absolutely buzzing like an old fridge about. We kind of smashed it in the end. It closed the gap somewhat. Did the chasing pack, Hull who ended up on 90 points, but we had 97 points. We only lost 3 games all season. Let's get the full table in all its glory. Here it is, and you can see here that we did very well. We scored 85 goals, only conceded 39, only one team conceded less, which was Blackpool. Obviously Hull had the same amount of concessions as us, but we scored more goals. We were the joint top scorers with Ipswich Town, but they conceded 67, so hence they're not in our position, and they're going to be vying for promotion in the playoffs. But yeah, Wigan surprisingly went down again. But I say again, it's the first time I think they've gone down in this save. But it's Forest Green, Swindon and Northampton all joined them, which I believe Forest Green and Swindon both came up with us. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame from their point of view. There's another team that stayed up. Grimsby stayed up with us, so that's a good feat for them, really, I guess. I mean, obviously not as good as us. Quickly, if I just click at the team detailed and go to the bottom, which I like to do, and you go to the salary per annum, I'll have to move myself out of the way, Future G, so piss off. Right, there we go. 19th we were. I think I should be in the top corner at this point. Just another reminder there, G, in the future. 19th overall. Not much between in terms of the amount of monetary value here in terms of the salaries. But if you look at the very top, Barnes had a salary per annum of 4.13, which is practically like 2.5 times our salary. So yeah, I think we've done very well when you put it in that sort of perspective. So let's have a look and see who else we brought in. I think that's probably one of the key messages. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head if we've got any fees or not now, so it's going to be interesting to see. We haven't got anything like happening in between. But in terms of the history, there was 2 signings that we brought in. I'll start off with them first. Callum Jones was brought in as like a bit of cover. As a ball-winning midfielder. He actually was one of the few players, in fact probably the only player in this year's rendition of Football Manager that I have not had to pay any wages for, which I thought, well, if he's going to cost us nothing, I know he's not amazing, he's good as cover, I'll bring him in, because why the hell not? At the end of the day, he's not costing us a penny. The other player was Liam Smith, £500 per week from Man City. Very excited for this guy because I think I've got him on for next year as well. So I've managed to get him on a 1.5 year loan. I mean, I've sorted out the deal now to get him for another season. So because he was very, very handy. 2 goals, 4 assists for us in 10 appearances, 2 off the bench. Obviously, he was still. It was a bit of a steal for us really in the end, because £500 a week at this level is, especially with the money problems we've got, it was brilliant for us, and he was actually not bad at football, believe it or not. So very happy to get him in. He's, like I say, he's done wonders for us. But yeah, in terms of the outs, I think a couple of players did leave, but yeah, Reece Cole. Well, Liam Gordon first. We saw it at the back end of the last episode. He went for 1.1k. Nothing to write home about. We made a little bit of money on him. We're never really going to make use of him. Just wasn't that good. And his star ratings sort of like echoed that as well. Especially when we had Neufville and Blake Tracy ahead of him, and Galloway should we need him. But basically the main one that we got money for was Reece Cole. Just wasn't getting many games for us. And he's ended up going to Ipswich Town. Who, like I said, they're in the place. He's got a chance to join us next season. He's got as a fringe player, and he's actually, I think he took a pay cut. I'm pretty sure we had him at £2,000 a week. So I was very glad to get him. I was very glad, English G. It's very difficult for me apparently. I was very glad to get him off the wage bill, so that saved us a little bit of money in that regard. Danny Coogan, we went to Blythe on loan. He's still obviously technically there, but he's not on big wages anyway. But I just wanted to see if we could maybe get a bit of game time. I think I tried to transfer list him as well. One of the the club vision things is to try and make money from signing young players and selling them on, and I tried to do that, but no one wanted to come in for him. And then Matthew Tweedley, I'm quite excited for this guy. I think he could be half decent. The Red Arrows say otherwise at this moment in time, but he's a guy that obviously started off at the club. He's come through the academy in real life, I think, this year. So he's got some reasonable physicals, some reasonable mentals. Obviously not for the championship, as that's where we're heading, but definitely if I can send him out on loan a couple more times, maybe get him a bit more game time, a bit of consistency, maybe at the age of 20 he might be ready to maybe step into the first team. We'll have to wait and see. But then going into the performance, where are we? Squad. We'll start with apps. So Billy Krelling, sadly we're going to be saying goodbye to. Fleetwood will not let us loan him because they deem us a divisional rival, even though we're going into the championship, which I find very, very bizarre. Because we're going up and they're staying down. Why they wouldn't use a different reason to not allow it to go? If they said, look, we want to use them ourselves, I'd be like, fair enough. But if I quickly just do it now, make an offer, loan, divisional rival, which I think is the biggest pile of dog shit you've ever seen. It was cheap as well. It was £350 or £375 a week we were paying. I was more than happy to pay that again. Probably even pay up to £1,000 for him. Sadly, it's not to be. We will be saying goodbye to Krelling. I'm absolutely gutted about it because he has been pretty solid for us. And he's played quite a lot of games for us, and he's done very, very well. So, like I said, it's going to be a shame, but we'll have to. Obviously, it means we are going to be looking for a new goalkeeper in the summer. Next up was Brendan Galloway, standout performer for me, 7.2 average rating, absolutely fantastic player. I don't think you can say he's not good for League One at all, and I think he's going to make the step up to the Championship pretty much seamlessly, in my opinion. You might disagree. It might depending on what happens in the transfer market. He might move over to left back. We'll see. I'm happy to play him as a centre back. The only thing that lets him down really is his positioning. Next up was Nathan Delfonzo, and you can see some very impressive numbers there. The problem is with him, he's out of contract. He's on £2.3 a week, and if you noticed at the beginning of the episode, we were 3.4 million or whatever it is in debt. I cannot afford at all to give him what he wants. What he wants, well, I can't even show you now, but he wants minimum. He starts off asking when you do your negotiation, £8,000 a week. I think, unfortunately, as well as he's done for us in these 2 seasons, scoring 53 league goals for us and 34 and 25. So what's that? Numbers 59 goals for us in 86 starts plus 13 in 99 appearances for us. It's a shame he didn't get to 100. But yeah, he's got a lot of goals and we've relied on him quite a lot. But you might have noticed a little bit further down, there's another one waiting in the wings, which I'll show you very shortly. Otherwise, the next appearance makers, Blake Tracy to the left back, which, like I said, I think he was going to be very good for us, and he ended up being very good for us as well. More than happy to keep him for next season as well. In terms of goal scorers, as you can see, obviously, as I mentioned, we've said Nathan Delfonzo, who's got 25 goals this season, but stepping into his wings, or stepping into his boots rather, Joel Mumbongo. A lot of red arrows here. I threw a few red flags. What's going on with this screen? Why has it done this? Not sure. But anyway, yeah, you can kind of gauge what's going on here. He's very quick. He's not the best. He's not that composed, and he's not that good at finishing. Who does it remind you of? Exactly. It reminds you of Delfonzo. Now, I'm happy to keep this guy around. He's definitely going to be at least second fiddle in terms of the striker. Unless like a massive offer comes in for him. But he looks like a natural replacement. 17 goals in total, 11 in 19 starts in the league. I think he could do a job for us at the very least. Don't forget, the main aim is most likely going to be avoid relegation with back-to-back promotions. So I'm hoping that he's going to be able to fit the bill for us. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, been very happy with his progress. Simon Power is another one. He was relatively cheap, £750 a week. He's done wonders for us as well. 6 goals, 7 assists in the league. 7 goals in all competitions. Pretty handy player. Had a bit of a rotation sort of situation with his 25 appearances and 18 off the bench, because believe it or not, Mbongo did play quite a few. This is what I need to do. Positions. There we go. I do believe that position-wise, he played quite a few games. Yeah, 20 games. Believe it or not, he got 11 goals from the right wing. But 20 games on the right wing, got 11 goals and 3 assists. Scored 6 when he was up top with 3 assists as well. So played the odd game at attacking midfield left as well, but obviously he's right-footed, so even though he's not the greatest, he's got a lot of pace, relative amount of dribbling and first touch, so decision making wasn't terrible at 9. I mean, it's not the best you've ever seen, but yeah, he did a job for us, as proven, as I've just shown you there. Next up, in terms of the goal scorers, Denis Politic did really well for us. Not sure it's going to be the same standard when we go into the championship. I don't know. He's performing above his numbers. He got 7 goals, 7 assists, 28 starts. He did play quite a lot of games, and he rotated where he played. Like, he played some games. Most of his games were in the centre. He played quite a few games on the left, like 7 of them basically. I did all right for us. He did relatively well for us. But he's another player. He's out of contract in the summer. And I just don't know whether he's going to be the answer going forward. He just doesn't look good enough in terms of his numbers, so we'll have to wait and see. One player I do want to highlight though, because we are going to be saying goodbye to Darcy just quickly, because I did want to keep him. He's on £800 a week at the minute. He's out of contract. He wants a lot more money than what I'm willing to pay. I mean, I could probably knock that down potentially to about £2,000, but again, you look at his numbers, and I just don't think he doesn't stand out as a championship quality player. I do think we definitely need better. But yeah, what I was going to say before, the last mention, in fact, before we go into, we'll go into assists first, because Politic, like I said, has got 12. Irvin's got 11, Goss has got 11. That's the box-to-box role. So 22 goals provided by these two. Let's have a quick look at these guys, because, like I say, he's 21 years old, is Irvin. Got a lot of room to grow as well. He could be like really good for us in the championship. We'll have to wait and see. Goss, on the other hand, is out of contract this year. $2,000 a week, quite a high wage, and he wants a minimum $5,000 start. I'm not prepared to pretty much. I could probably knock it down to maybe $4,000 if I didn't extra incentives. But I don't want to double his wages, even though he looks quite good, and he might have earned it, and you might disagree with it, but just can't get away from that 7 determination. Very good at free kicks and that, I suppose, but like I say, got 11 assists. So I'll have to weigh up the options and see if I can get anyone any better. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the final thing I want to mention, because average ratings are, I mean, you can see them there for yourself. Ed Francis, special mention, I guess, 7.21. Did well for us when he covered. I don't think I'm going to be keeping him. Same situation. He's wanting extra higher wages as well. Don't think he's quite championship level. I know he's 22. Finally, because I keep trying to go to him and I end up moving away from him, let's just go back onto goals for now, because I knew he was somewhere here. German Obeid, you might remember him. He came through the youth academy last season, and this guy has shown quite a lot of progress. If I go onto here and onto all time, just move me out of the way again up to the top G. But yeah, you can see his physicals are already coming on leaps and bounds in less than, in just over a year. Some of his mentals as well. Been working on his composure and decisions in particular, because they were both 5. I think they actually started on 4, but it must have been like 4.4 or something. And you know what it used to be like? It used to be 4.6, so they'd be sure as 5. I think that's exactly what happened here. But yeah, even his technicals have gone up as well. So I'm quite excited to see how he does. to show him here. He's got the world's biggest forehead, I think, or biggest like egghead, if you want to call it that. But we don't care. He's going to be pretty useful for us. Can play up top, cam, or right wing. So he's going to be getting utilised in some way, shape, or form next season. Who knows? Maybe he might be the starting cam next season. I mean, he's 16 years old, probably a little bit raw. I probably will shy away from that to start off with, but definitely got a role to play next season. And then the next player I want to highlight is Brian Lopez, who came through the youth. In fact, I need to show you the youth academy. This guy came through the youth academy. As you can see, doesn't look that great. Obviously, the blue numbers are like your 6 to 9, the 6 to 10, I think it is. And then your yellows are 11 to 15, and then greens are 16s into like to 20. Now, this guy here, he's got a lot of potential. They reckon that he's going to be like class. So left wing has been a problem position for us. I'm going to look to retrade him there. And I don't think he's got bad starting numbers. I know for championship level it's going to be interesting, but definitely like rotating on as a sub or cup games or whatever, he's definitely going to get some game time. Physicals don't look too bad. He's not the slowest. Some of the mentals are decent. That decisions is 10, off the ball is 11. I like his teamwork as well, which is very handy. His technically he's pretty good as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he improves as well. Let's see if he's actually improved now. I can't remember. He's gone up 1 already on his jumping reach. Not that that matters for a left winger who is 5'8", but yeah, I'm quite happy with him that's come through. In terms of the other youngsters though, who else is there? I think he was the only one that I promoted. Oh, Jordan Keys was another one that came through, 15. I put them into the first team to try and mentor out the determination to get it higher. I believe that's the best way to do it. If there's any other way, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, he looks like he could be decent. He's got a great first touch, great passing, great technique. His vision isn't terrible neither. Could be considered a leader. Physicals need a lot of work. But I think this guy could be really good, and the potential ability says so as well. So we'll have to wait and see. It did say we were going to have a golden generation, I think, and he was one of them. Lopez was another. And is there anyone else I put into here? Rimmer was another one as well. I believe he just came through now. No, that was last season. Ignore me. So there must be back in here. There is one player actually I do want to show you and see how he let's keep tabs on him. In fact, Richard Nielsen is another one who was part of the golden generation. We'll see. He's a left back, needs a lot of work in his physicals. Mentally, I don't think he's terrible. You know, off the ball's a little bit weak, but everything else isn't bad. As far as mentals for a defender go, and technicals in the key areas aren't terrible neither. So we might potentially, because it's 15, let's not forget, we might potentially have a really good player on his hands here. So we'll have to wait and see. Who else did we get in? We've already mentioned Lopez. We've already mentioned Keys. Potential. These guys we already know about. I might have to get rid of it. I'm telling you, I can't get him a work permit. I can't justify paying him more wage on the pretense that maybe he'll get a work permit, because then I'm wasting money. So for that reason alone, I just can't do it. Where's he gone? Yeah, McCormick. He's been doing a lot of improving. It'd be interesting to see if he keeps going, because at the end of the day, I think it's mainly these two things that are probably hindering his potential ability. But he's been coming up in the training reports like constantly. If I quickly just go into his progress bar, all time. I mean, you can see already, like only recently, like within the last like 6 months or so. In fact, let me put it on 6 months. Yeah, it's been getting a lot of green arrows going straight up. If we go to 12 months, in fact, yeah, it's probably the last 12 months realistically. All time, he's got a few twos. Well, he's got twos in composure, but this guy looks like he could be developing into something. This is why I think sometimes you can't read too much into the potential ability, because I've just got a feeling that can fluctuate again. Either way, it just depends on how he does. In terms of the injuries, it says might have problem with injuries. If we go into here in injuries, he's only had 2 injuries. They've been for 3 and 4 days. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's one thing I tend to do is when I'm looking to sign players and I look at that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted this screen, by the way, because when you click on a player and you can see all these traits here, and all you have to do is hover over and it'll tell you. That's one of the other beautiful things about this particular skin. But yeah, it's a TCS skin. I think it was on, I want to say it was on FM Scout. I could be wrong. But by all means, just Google it. It's a really good skin, to be fair. And here we are at the end of season awards. And it's obviously been a very good season for us. Right, so as mentioned, Brendan Galloway, top performer, 7.2, with Tom White, surprisingly, but only, is it? Yeah, we got him in from, Tom White as well, I need to mention. he got a bad injury. Did his cruciate ligaments, and he was out for like 9 months at the time. So yeah, that did hinder us somewhat. He was our rotation option with Sarcevic. He's going to miss quite a bit of next season as well. So we're going to have to play it by ear with him because he's out of contract next year as well. Forgot about him. He was doing well for us, as you saw there. For some reason, I've gone back and it's put me back here. But yeah, basically he was pretty handy for us as well. 7.12. Andy Irvin, as we saw, 7.11 with Blake Tracy 7.09 and Bongo getting 7.03. He ought to do with all those goals and assists that he got as a bit of a backup type sort of situation. I thought it was very impressive indeed. Season's results. Void relegation was expectation. We smashed that. Finished top. 59% attendance, which I'm pretty happy about. So I think it was 44 if I remember right last season. The top scorer was 22 goals. I will look at the competitions at the end. For everyone else in the league. As you can see, we've got 97 points. I mean, you don't need to see all the green circles, do you really? There wasn't many reds. I can look at them as a guess. We lost 4-0 to Crewe Alexander. I think we're already up at this point. We lost 2-0 to Ipswich Town, who were a big team. And I believe we lost to Sunderland. Yeah, lost to Sunderland 1-0 early on in the season. I covered that last time. Give me the money. That's the tournament I created in the pre-season friendlies. We won it. And it was against Celtic, Rangers and Everton, it was Rangers that we won 3-2. I think we were 2-1 down as well, but we drew the other two games. We did well. FA Cup, we got knocked out in the first round by Alden, which I'm very disappointed about. It was a replay. Like I said, we lost 1-0 and then drew 1-1. The Carabao Cup, we lost to Blackpool again, another team that we were a team in our division, so I fancied his chances, but unfortunately we lost out on penalties. And Papa John's, we got beat. Did we? We won it. Yeah, I forgot about that. We actually won the trophy. I remember now. I tried to record it, and the computer was just jumping quite a bit. I might have to play with how I do my recordings, because I do the recording at the minute where I'm recording like both my camera and the screen at the same time, but my camera's the same size as the screen, if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's using quite a bit more of the CPU. Maybe I have to play with some settings. But when I tried to record, it just jumps it's like when you used to play like COD back in down, yeah, and on Xbox, and someone would be ice skating because of that jumpy. It's ridiculous. A moment to remember. Biggest win was 5-1 against Oxford. Very happy with that, of course. Isgrove got a rare hat trick. He got it just before I was thinking about selling him. And I don't know if he became wanted. And I think he was out of contract in the summer, because he's another player we've got, and we've got him for another year, but I might look to cash in on him. He had a bad injury and he didn't really perform that well afterwards, but then for some strange reason he came back. He came back, and it was just literally the game before the January window. He scored a hat trick randomly against Oxford, which was really bizarre. We beat, obviously, Barnsley, who were up there with us. That was kind of defining moment. Well, I say kind of defining. It was in November, so maybe not. But the goal of the season was in this. I'll try and show you it now. Hopefully it won't judder all over the show. It was power. I can't remember if it was a powerful strike, but we'll see. But yes, it was a big game at the time. They were up there. So it was good to get one over them at the time. So here we go. Hopefully it's not juddering for you, but I've got a funny feeling it will be. But power just run through, and then that's a pitiful goal of the season. That is breathtaking, was it? But it was breathtaking. A little pass back to keeper that he just dived over. All right, game. Okay, whatever you say. So yeah, back to the financial side of things. Sponsorship brought us £500,000. Broadcast did the same pretty much. Corporate brought us just like £1.25. £250,000 from the prize money for finishing top, and we made £1 million on the commercial and retail, which was up $250,000. Delfonzo, the one who sold the most shirts. Sadly, you're not going to be able to see any more of them. I can't see myself paying $8,000. I can't bring myself to pay $8,000 for a 31-year-old striker who's going to decline. I just can't do it. Politic, Mumbongo, Goss and Isgrove, surprisingly. So it's going to be interesting to see, because it looks like potentially only one of those players is going to be here next season, which is going to probably hurt the fan base maybe. I like to think it won't do, but I'm probably going to be wrong in that regard. But Mumbongo jumps into the the fair share of the season. He reckons that we played Mumbongo more than Delfonzo does the game. I don't know what I said he. I don't think that is accurate. I'm pretty sure we played Delfonzo up top like practically every single game. Okay then, I'm pretty sure he had like the second most or third most appearances. But anyway, yeah, this is the nitty gritty. Manager month for November and March, that's all I've got. I didn't get the manager of the season. Fans player of the year is Galloway. Ed Francis got the young player of the year. Signing of the season was Galloway as well. I think it was a free transfer. I've just seen the goal of the season. Top scorer Delfonzo. Most assists with Goss, and I'm sure Irving as well. Man of the matches was Goss with 4. Average rating was Brendan Galloway, which is fine. But yeah, youngest player was Brian Lopez. We did give him a bit of game time towards the back end of the season at 15 years old. Krelling, shout out to him. I did big him up earlier on. 26 clean sheets in a 46 game season. Absolutely insane. That's why if you're able to, I don't know if you would be able to, but if you're able to get him, if you're doing lower league after the first season, because he starts off at Bolton on loan, get him on loan if you can, because he's pretty solid for League 2 or League 1, definitely. Very happy with how the season's gone, as you can imagine. 4 goals in a match from Mumbongo as well, and that was it. But Bolton owe everything to a fantastic start to the season. I mean, I practically did well all season, you would argue. We won the Sky Bet Johnstone's Pate Trophy. We beat Man United's under-23s, which was nice in the final. After extra time, I might add, it was 0-0. And then we scored 3 in extra time, which was a massive pain in the dick, I'm not going to lie. And that was pretty much it, really. 620 grand, which actually isn't bad, to be fair. For a team that's massively in debt, they must be expecting us to get quite a lot of money. I mean, what's financials say right now? Still 3.4, they must be expecting quite a bit of money. But yeah, 2,285 quid. No, what am I talking about? £22,850 in the wage budget. So I'll probably aim to try and stay at least 10 grand below that. That's the plan. Delfonzo was the top scorer. I don't think, well, there's a Barnsley player, Colin Woodrow, could possibly get more goals in the playoffs, which would cheese him out of it because he'll play more games. Galloway finished 3rd in the player ratings. 3rd place was Goss, and I believe potentially Irving, unless it was because it was in a cup competition, so it won't count. But in terms of the assists, Krelling, top clean sheets in the league. 26 out of 46 was a complete lie, because it's 20 in the 46, which is still very impressive. And Sasovic, the tank, getting all the yellow cards, 15 in all. But yeah, very happy with our performance this season. Just going to quickly go through all the staff members of like the people who obviously are the main people of the story, if you like. This is obviously Jerry Joe Kayev. Who else is there? There is Fernando Hierro. Still keeps getting like news items, and I've got to like respond to press questions and stuff. Doesn't look amazing. For like a manager, tactical knowledge is 7, so I don't know why they keep coming in for him. I guess it's purely for reputation's sake, which is my one mistake I made. I brought in David Dunn, the former Blackburn legend. I want to call him a legend. He might not be a legend. He might be just like an icon. Not a bad option. Jussi Jääskeläinen's here. Still, he's gone from his 9s to 11s and a 10 there, so I'm quite happy with that. So he has actually shown some improvement. Stelis Giannakopoulos, nailed it again. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. Mentioned James Beattie before. Big Sam's there. Look, Big Kev, not done much really in terms of his improvement. And then we've also got Ivan Campo down here. And I believe that's everyone. Yeah, because we already mentioned that we got in James Beattie last time, I believe. He's a very good coach, to be fair, at this level, with the mentals of determination and motivating on 15 and disciplines at 14. It's very impressive indeed. Tactical knowledge is 15 as well. It'd be a good, unders manager or something like that. But very happy with the team. And then finally, we'll look at me, or the JJ Koch, as it were. Be interested to see if we eventually get into the black, whether I can actually go do start a coaching course, because when you've got no money, you never can. Attacking, I think, has gone up by 2 in total. Still got some 1s in fitness and what have you, so it'll be interesting to see if we can improve them at all. But yeah, as you can see, the other thing that really stands out is motivating, and that's what I started off with. Areas to improve. I mean, I think we're going to be. That's why I've got Jones in on loan, because of the injury to to White. Yeah, Tom White getting that bad injury. I needed cover. But otherwise, defence looks solid. It all depends. But it's Ed Francis. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make the step up. And I'm kind of in the same boat about Harry Brockbank because he's improved a little bit, but not loads. And I don't know if it's enough to consider him for the championship. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do with him as well. But yeah, I think there's going to be some changes. I'm quite happy with right backs, if I'm honest with you. We've got Jones and Gordon, who have done really well, to be fair. I say really well, and he's got a 6.83 overall as Kellen Gordon. Hasn't really stood out massively. He's not really put many feet wrong. Is that even correct English? Probably not. But yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. I think we definitely need... Well, we're keeping Liam Smith, which is good. We're definitely going to need another striker because we can't just rely on Mumbongo on his own. I think Cam's going to be a position we look at. If we've still got Politic and Darcy, I think we're in trouble, personally. But if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. But yeah, I think... Oh, goalkeeper as well, obviously. I think otherwise we get those areas strengthened. I think we could be alright for safety from relegation, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully you can join us for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this rundown of the second season, the second part of the second season, if you think there's anything I should have aimed for in terms of player-wise, should I be ignoring the fact that the 31 and signing Delfonzo on for another season or two at a much higher wage? Let me know in the comments if you think I'm making a mistake. Obviously, we'll have a look in the future. Well, when we get into the next season, and I'll update you on how we've been doing, how we do, should we say? But yeah, until that next time, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have liked it, go ahead and press that like button. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, I will see you then. Thanks a lot.